One of the most important aspects of playing tuba or any musical instrument is forming a well-thought-out practice routine. I use the word routine because a practice session should be a structured activity conducive to learning and strengthening your musical skills. This is especially important for less experienced players who should form good practice habits early and to build strength and endurance. The practice routine that I'll use as an example centers on 5 basic areas: warming up, etudes or exercises, sight reading, solos, and warming down. We'll assume that this session will last 1 hour, so we'll give each area a time limit. If you have more time, you may use it to extend any area in which you need work. However, studies have shown that people lose their mental focus if they're forced to concentrate for extended periods. Plan to take 1 10-minute break every hour. This way, you'll get more out of your practice. Before we get to the routine, here are some tips I'd like to share with you. Get in the habit of always trying to produce the most beautiful and characteristic sound you can imagine. If you don't know what a good sound is, listen to recordings of tuba and euphonium soloists, or listen to a live professional player. Try to imitate the best sound you have ever heard played on your instrument. Try to clear your mind of anything that is not related to what you will be doing in your practice. Leave your problems outside the door of your practice room. You can always pick them up again when you leave after your session. This is also good advice for performances. Spend the money and get a good quality electronic, not clockwork, metronome and a similar quality electronic tuner. The metronome should be audible during loud passages and should have a calibrated dial or digital readout panel. The tuner should have an analog or digital meter to show your pitch and sense, and the ability to sound each pitch of the chromatic scale. Better models can even tell you what pitch you're playing, eliminating the need to fumble with the dial for each pitch. Both the tuner and the metronome should be small enough to carry with you in your case or a small bag. We'll talk about using these tools in the next section. If your mind becomes unfocused and you can't concentrate, stop the session. You won't retain anything useful and you'll just be wasting your time. Take a break and come back later. This is not an excuse to skip out on practicing, though. Band practice is not individual practice time. Even if you have an ensemble rehearsal, you must still go through your routine if you want to improve. 1 hour a day will keep you in shape. Add more time to your practice routine to see real improvement. The practice room needs to be as large as possible. If you always practice in a small room, you will perceive a very small sound to be really big and awesome. Find the biggest room you can. In good weather, take your horn outside and practice. You'll be surprised how regular outdoor practice will improve your endurance and your sound. Don't practice mistakes. Be absolutely certain that you are playing the correct rhythms and pitches, especially when reading a piece for the first time. It helps to go over unfamiliar music without the instrument by checking key and time signatures, fingering tough passages, and singing intervals. Singing is the best way to build a good sense of pitch that is essential to playing a low-ras instrument like tuba and euphonium. This is because your ear has to be trained to hear the lower sounds produced by these instruments. If you can train your ear to hear the music on the page, it will make playing a lot easier. Don't be ashamed of singing. You don't have to sound like Pavarotti or Madonna. Singing is a valuable tool in practice, and it's probably the most important thing you can do to improve your playing.